Tonight on Duck TV News, wildfire spotting from above, a city cleanup organization coming to Eugene, and what students think about the new CDC guidelines. All that and more coming up. Good evening, and welcome back to Duck TV News. I'm Lauren Brown.
And I'm Micah Wilkins. Let's take a look at tonight's top stories. As the dry season approaches, a charter airline is providing their services to identify and track wildfires by lending their bird's eye view. Graham Metzger has the story.
Valkyrie Air Charters expects this fire season to be hotter, drier, and longer, so they will be ready for more work. Valkyrie is one of several around the state that work with logging companies and formerly the Forestry Service to spot fires before they spread. Pilots in Firewatch typically stay 500 feet above ground level in planes like this here Cessna. When they see a fire, they immediately contact air traffic control and give them their exact longitude and latitude so that the fire crews can get to work. Firewatch pilot and former Eugene and Springfield Fire Chief Joe Zaludik explains the importance of his work.
So it's very satisfying to know that you might have reduced the impact to a community and saved resources.
Fire spotting flights can last up to 4 hours, and depending on the climate, other spotters are necessary on board to sniff out sneaky blazes. A majority of pilots and fire spotters for the program are flight school graduates who get valuable experience for future careers through fire spotting. CEO of Valkyrie Air Charters, Brent Golembiewski, uses his experience in the Air Force to coach training pilots on their fire flights.
In the Air Force, we're very procedural driven and checklist driven, and so trying to push that onto the younger individuals and give them my experiences.
Valkyrie's spotting crew is on call at all times during the week to be an eye in the sky for our forests down below. For Duck TV News, I'm Graham Metzger.
To learn more about Valkyrie Air Charters and their fire flights, please visit their website at www.valkyrieaircharters.com.
An Oregon-based grassroots movement is opening up a new branch in Eugene. Be the Change community was started in June of 2019 in Portland as a small beach and city cleanup group. Co-founder Rose Weinberg said the new Eugene branch will host a cleanup the second Saturday of every month for volunteers of all ages to join.
And it's my heart. That's what this whole movement is a piece of my heart and what I can leave behind of planting trees and trying to better the world.
In addition to cleanups, the Eugene branch has hosted virtual DIY nights with eco-friendly crafts and events for planting trees native to Oregon in the spring. Volunteers that are interested in cleaning their community can also participate in virtual cleanups. Be the Change community encourages those interested to take 5 minutes to clean up their local area. Be the Change community is currently working on being legitimized as a nonprofit.
On Tuesday, the University of Oregon's Financial Wellness Center hosted its first car buying workshop for U.S. students. This workshop was led by U.S. students Lucas Murphy and Donovan Jones. They taught students the steps needed to responsibly purchase a car. There was a successful turnout, and Murphy said he's excited about future workshops. Now let's throw it to Lucas and Sebastian at the sports desk.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Duck TV Sports. I'm Lucas Banks.
And I'm Sebastian Diaz. Let's get right into the show.
Playground Sports hosted a kickball tournament this last weekend. Reporter Mary Marsico has the story.
The 11th annual Kick It Kickball Tournament, hosted by Playground Sports, took place at Civic Park on Saturday, May 22nd. The purpose of the tournament is to get the community together in a COVID-safe environment and have a whole lot of fun.
It is really just for fun. It is so that all these folks can get together, play kickball, have a good time, be in their community, and just socialize and hang out. Remember why sports were actually around is for us to engage with each other. And so especially right now after COVID, it is incredibly important that we have this opportunity to get to socialize.
Beck started the company after losing her job in 2009 to get through a time of chaos and challenge. Many of the participants claim they have made lifelong friends through Playground Sports and are extremely thankful for this supportive program.
This is like our spring and summer favorite activity. Before COVID, we were playing 2-3 nights a week. Just love Beck and love the concept, and great way to get out and have fun with friends.
If you don't have a team and you just want to make friends, you can join up as a single person and then they'll put you on a team. That's how our original team got built, by different groups of people that joined as free agents.
And now, 5 years later, we're all like best friends.
Yep.
Winning teams earn a free Kickball League team entry for the spring or summer for 2021. If kickball isn't your thing, Playground Sports offers many different types of sporting events, like basketball, volleyball, tennis, bowling, and so much more. The purpose of sports are for us to engage with each other and socialize in a fun, athletic way. Playground Sports does exactly that. From Civic Park for Duck TV Sports, I'm Mary Marsico.
Thanks, Mary. It's nice seeing the community get back to normal.
The scorching hot number 13 ranked Oregon baseball team hosted a 3-game series against the number 17 ranked Stanford in a Pac-12 showdown at their last outing in PK Park this season. In the opening game, it was a pitching duel by both teams until finally in the 7th inning, senior Gabe Matthews broke the scoreless game with a huge 2-run dinger to right field. The Ducks were able to hold off a late rally by Stanford, beating the Cardinals 2-1. However, the second game was a different story. The bats were alive for both teams as they scored a combined total of 11 runs. After going back and forth from the start of the game, Stanford was able to get ahead of the Ducks in the 5th inning and maintained the lead for the rest of the game, securing a 6-5 win. The final game of the series went down to the wire. The Ducks came out hot, scoring 5 runs in the first 3 innings, but Stanford rallied back with a huge 3rd inning, scoring 3 runs and tying the game. Then all the way in the 12th inning, Stanford scored another 3 runs, beating Oregon 8-5 and winning the series. The Oregon Club baseball team is heading to the National Club Baseball Association World Series. Reporter Thomas Kodica has the story.
That's on me, that's on 3, 1, 2, 3, go!
Due to Lane County coronavirus restrictions, competition seemed unlikely for the University of Oregon club baseball team. Team president Robbie Schleiser explains how the team was able to stay ready and compete when given the green light.
We were preparing like there was going to be a season basically since January, since week 1 of winter term. We were able to get inter squads like once a week. That really gave us competition outside of having only 2 regular season games against Oregon State.
In their first official competition since the pandemic began, the Ducks traveled to Yakima, Washington in hopes of becoming regional champions. After defeating Utah State and Gonzaga twice, the Ducks punched their ticket to the NCBA World Series in Pittsburgh, Kansas. Senior pitcher Johnny Newcomb hopes to end his club career on a high note.
Our team was really good last year, and we kind of have the same team this year, so we came back into this year just like really wanting to play, really looking forward to the season. We didn't even know if we were going to play this year, and then about 2 weeks before our first game, they gave us the news like, you guys can play. So we're all just really excited and ready to like leave everything we have on the field.
The Ducks look to prove themselves among 7 of the nation's premier teams in hopes of becoming national champions for the first time since their Cinderella campaign in 2015. They begin their run May 28th against the North Dakota Fighting Hawks. From Duck TV Sports, I'm Thomas Kodiga.
Thanks, Thomas. The team's first game is on May 28th versus North Dakota.
After dropping the first game at the NCAA Austin Regional to Texas State, the Oregon softball team had their backs up against the wall. Facing elimination twice on Saturday, the Ducks pulled out 2 gutsy victories to keep their season alive. Samaria Diaz delivered a gem in the first game, shutting out St. Francis for 5 1/3 innings. Ducks ace Brooke Yanez matched a program NCAA tournament record with 14 strikeouts in a 4-hit shutout of Texas State, leading Oregon to a 2-0 victory in the second game. The win set up a dramatic matchup with top seed Texas, coached by former Oregon head coach Mike White. The Ducks will need to win 2 in a row on Sunday to advance to the Super Regionals next week against Oklahoma State.
Now, here's a sport you don't hear about. It's considered the fastest game on grass and is called hurling. Reporter Casey Winbush has the story.
Hurling is an ancient Gaelic sport that is over 2,000 years old that is typically played in Ireland, but over this past year, the sport has made its way over to Eugene. The Willamette Valley Nomads are the official hurling team of the Eugene-Springfield area. They practice every Saturday at 10 a.m. at Maury Jacobs Park. The Nomads have been together since January of this year, with their team consisting of members of all skill levels and ages. Killian Condon is a member of the Willamette Valley Nomads and has been playing the sport of hurling for 30 years.
Here is a mishmash. You have players who are brand new to the game. 2 of the guys today, it's their second or third week out ever. A few of us have been playing, for over 30 years, me, and I played with a few clubs here after coming from Ireland, a few clubs in the United States.
Being such a new team that's formed during COVID, they've had to adapt their playing style. While hurling is a somewhat physical game, because of COVID, the Nomads have had to learn how to play hurling with no physical contact.
We started playing back in January and we'll go until October, November, until we're just too tired to play anymore and need a few weeks off.
In fact, the Willamette Valley Nomads are preparing for their first game that's coming up here in 4 weeks. The Nomads are open to everyone ages 16 and up who are interested in joining the team, and their first game is June 26th at Maury Jacobs Park. With Duck TV Sports, I'm Casey Winbush.
Thanks, Casey. For more information about hurling, you can find them under Willamette Valley Nomads.
The Oregon men's golf team competed in the NCAA CLE Alum Regional this week up in Washington. After the first 2 days, the Ducks were in the hunt to finish top 5 in the tournament and therefore qualify for the NCAA championships. Led by sophomore Tom Gaunt, who finished tied for 11th overall, the Ducks were in 9th place at +9. Unfortunately, the Ducks saw their season come to an end on Wednesday as they could not make a jump in the standings, finishing in 10th place at +24 for the tourney. The Ducks will head into the offseason with hopes of making the NCAA championships next season. That's all we have for you this week. Make sure to follow us on Instagram and Twitter at Duck TV Sports.
Now, back to Michael and Lauren at the news desk.
Thanks, guys. University of Oregon Sigma Alpha Epsilon fraternity is the second frat this month to disaffiliate. This decision was made after the UO suspended the frat for at least 3 years for gathering during COVID restrictions. SAE is still able to organize and continue volunteer work, but are not recognized by the university. According to SAE's president, the UO's punishments towards Greek life during the pandemic was, quote, unjust, unquote, and he expects other chapters to follow.
CASA of Lane County hosted a fundraising event last Saturday. Reporter Tucker Conlu has more on what went down.
The Court-Appointed Special Advocates, or CASA, is an organization providing help for abused and neglected children. CASA teamed up with a rappelling company, Over the Edge. Director Heather Murphy spoke about the need to raise funds.
Really is about the children, because if we're not taking care of the most vulnerable among us, then our community will suffer as a whole. So it's so important to see those happy faces and know that they can recognize their potential.
I'm here at the Oakway Center to cover the Over the Edge event. Participants are raising money for CASA by rappelling down the Hyatt Place Hotel. One of those participants is me. Let's see if I'm going to regret my decision today. Before I geared up, I spoke to a few edgers and asked them why they went down.
I got to see firsthand how important and what the CASA volunteers do and the amazing advocates they are for these children. So when I saw this opportunity, it was like a no-brainer.
CASA plans to make Over the Edge an annual event for anyone. Some participants include a 70-year-old, the Duck, Sluggo of the Eugene Emeralds, and an 11-year-old.
I've never repelled off a building, and I think it was really fun.
Yeah.
And I had a great time.
And before my turn to descend, I had to ask for advice.
No fear and just send it.
And that's what I did. Full send, despite my fear of heights. And I made it down smoothly and safely. Reporting for Duck TV News. I'm never doing that again.
For more ways to support or get involved with CASA, visit casa-lane.com.
The Oregon Health Authority has adopted the CDC's updated mask guidelines, and in most areas, masks are no longer required to be worn by those who have been fully vaccinated. Duck TV's Jennifer Singh has more.
Wearing masks has become our new normal, but it's looking like we may get back to our normal lives. With the loosening of mask mandates, there seems to be some light at the end of the tunnel. I'm right side of the U of O campus, where I got to talk to some local residents about their opinions on the changes.
I mean, it's hard to make sure that everybody's vaccinated and to actually get validation that they are vaccinated, so I think it's a little bit premature, but I can see the reasoning behind it.
Everything has been taken very seriously in Oregon, and I'm excited that things are getting back to normal.
For me, I feel like if you're fully vaccinated, you should still keep your mask on, because there is a 95% success rate, and there's still that 5% chance that you still can get it, and just to keep everyone safe so we can get over this.
I'm very excited to not have to worry about it anymore and not have to worry about the other people around me as much.
The University of Oregon is still enforcing the use of masks indoors on UO property, and the school can still require masks for school-based outdoor events where crowds may be expected. In accordance with Oregon Health Authority guidelines, proof of vaccination status is required for those not wanting to wear a mask. This differs from other states where some are relying on the honor system.
For updated information on COVID-19 and mask guidelines, visit coronavirus.uoregon.edu. That's a wrap on this week's episode. Thank you for joining us tonight.
Be sure to give us a follow on Instagram and Twitter @DuckTV News. Have a great night, Eugene.